not only can we think about communities and schools as this kind of holistic wraparound, but we can also think about it as a continuum of supports throughout the life of the student. Whether it's third grade reading, or whether it's graduation, but also one of our 4 basics is to have a marketable skill to be used upon graduation.
Sure.
And I know that that's part of your background that you bring to CIS as well, working with the Governor Sandoval in Nevada, and really trying to enhance workforce kinds of services to kids and to families.
Yep, you do a great job of that here in Eastern Pennsylvania, working in the career readiness space. And I really think that that's going to be part of the future for CIS. You're going to see more and more governors, probably our new president, talk more and more about careers and career readiness and what that means for high school. A high school diploma today is only a ticket to a part of the nation's economy. I read an article recently that of the between 11 and 14 million jobs, depending how you count them, created since the Great Recession in this country, just a handful, just a few thousand require only a high school diploma. All the rest of those jobs require a technical credential, an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, or higher. And so we have to be sure that the high school diplomas that we're helping students achieve and making sure that they stay in school to receive has value in the marketplace as well as in post-secondary education. And CIS has a role to play there. You're doing a lot of that work here. We're very proud of that.
Yeah, again, from my 5 years being part of communities and schools, one of the things that's so inspiring to me is, we're working with young people at an age where there's a great deal of resilience. There's a great deal of challenges that these kids face too. Sometimes it's housing, basic needs, whatever, but resilience. And when they have a caring adult in their lives who is their greatest cheerleader and in many cases, kind of like that caring family member in their lives, what's possible for these kids sometimes can, we're not about making the bar lower, we're about making the bar higher and challenging these kids in a positive way to achieve. And it can be really exciting what these kids can achieve.
Yeah, it's great to watch. I was in the District of Columbia. One of the first schools I visited is actually right by the apartment where I live in DC. And I met a young man who is a senior now, and he referred to his site coordinators as there was somewhere for him between a brother and a sister and kind of his school parent. And I was asking him about what his time with us had been like, and he said exactly what you said. He said, look, at home, nobody cared about me, and even here at school, they all have a job. Their job is to give me a grade, or even the guidance counselor has some control over his life, is the way he viewed it. Yeah. And a site coordinator is a caring adult who can look that student in the eye and understand what they're going through and then provide them with supports. And this young man, I think his name is Daryl, said to me that when he started with us, he didn't know what he was going to do after high school. He wasn't sure he would finish, and he was now planning to go to Potomac College, which is there in the District of Columbia, and he wanted to be a clothing designer. And so literally by the time I left, he was buttonholing me saying, look, when I get out of college, you're going to need logo wear for communities and schools, Mr. President, and I want you to buy my clothes. So that's one life changed by those people who he saw somewhere between brother and sister and parent.
Yeah.
But they cared about him. They redirected his whole life trajectory to where he was the most positive and upbeat young man. And they told me he didn't start out that way. He had behavior issues in school. And he was ready to close his first sale even before he left high school. That's what we do every day across America with 1.5 million children. And it's really inspiring to watch.
Yeah.